function form is when an equation is solved for y. Now that should sound familiar because we talked about these types of equations back in Unit 3, I believe it was, when we were doing literal equations and we were solving for different variables. Function form is basically just another way of solving for y. Why do we want to solve for y? But when we solve for y, it's in slope-intercept form. So let's look at this example here. It says write x plus 3y equals 3 in function form. Then graph the equation. So all you do is you take your equation, and we can graph this without solving for y, but then we'd have to make an input-output table, and it's actually easier just to put the work in up front and then graph it using slope-intercept form. Remember slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, solved for y. So for solving for y, I'm going to solve for my y term right here, and I'm going to get rid of the x. It's a positive x, so I'm going to combine it with a negative x. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. X minus x cancels, bring down my 3y equals. Now over here we can't combine them, so I'm just going to write it as 3 minus x or plus a negative x. Now, solving for y, I'm going to get rid of the 3. Since it's multiplying, I'm going to divide. Whatever I do to one side, do to the other. 3 divided by 3 is 1y. Now over here, remember that 3 is dividing everything. The 3 is dividing the first 3, and it's dividing our negative, and I'll write it as a negative 1x. Taking it one step further, 3 divided by 3 is 1, plus a negative 1/3 x. And I kind of just pulled that x out to the side, so it's pretty close to slope-intercept form. These two are just switched around, and since it's a plus sign, it doesn't really matter if we write it like this or with the x term first. Yes, we put some work in, but now this is really easy to graph. Y equals a negative 1/3 x plus 1. Make sure I copied that correctly. Our y-intercept is 1. Our slope is negative, so it means I'm going down. I'm going to go down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. And then you just draw a line through them. And again, we have these different representations of our relation, of our function. So function form, you guys, is just, again, solving for a variable, literal equation. It's solving for y. Why do we want to solve for y? Slope-intercept form helps us to graph easier.